So I'm going to put in some shapes, and I'm using my set of templates. A link will be in the description below, but if you don't have a template, you can use anything you have. Like this is something in my kitchen, and again, if you don't have a straight edge, you can use like a business card, anything that has a hard edge. Just be inventive and everything will be fine. Let's go with a triangle here. I like to use a pencil first, that way if I need to, and sometimes I do, I can erase. For the inking, I'm not sure why the camera stopped recording, but as you can tell, I'm just following more or less the lines I laid out. And like I said, if you go over the line and it's kind of wonky, incorporate it. See? It goes over the line a bit, and I just incorporated. To use the 0.7 and add in some extra lines. For a little visual variety. And I'm going to start rounding out the areas where one or more sections, lines come together. Kind of gives it a more organic feel. Just have fun with the process. It's really relaxing. So you can see it really curling up a little bit, but that's okay because you can sandwich it between pages of a thick book, and then put a couple of thick books on top of the other book, and then it'll flatten out overnight. And every so often, take a break and look at it and see how it's coming together, and rearrange it a different orientation. Because it looks like that in this way, and it gives a different perspective this way in the horizontal or the vertical. I switched back from the 0.7 to the 1.0 because it's easier to fill out spaces that are larger. And you can have your ink for the rounding out larger in some section, depending upon your tastes. It's all about what you want to accomplish. So I pulled out a couple of colors from my Castle Arts watercolor pencils. It comes in 72 colors, more than enough. And I basically pulled out some neutrals. Actually, let's get a yellow. Lemon yellow and cadmium yellow deep, as well as Hooker's green, cornflower blue, a little bit of scarlet red, cool gray, yellow ochre, Davies gray, and lastly, sky blue. Will I use all of them? I don't know. But at least they're here in case I want to play with them. I chose the hot pressed because it's a smoother watercolor paper, which is better, I think, than using cold or rough because of the texture of the paper. My goal with doing the watercolor pencils is to give you an idea of how you can make your doodles your own. So whatever supplies you have going on in your life, you can do it. And you see, you can add subtle changes. So, example, going with the lemon yellow again, let's go here. Kind of a circular application. And see how it changes. And go in with a little bit of cadmium deep. See? Cool gray. To create a little bit of shadow, going in with my brush with water to activate it, or you can just have the watercolor pencils as just watercolor or colored pencils. So I'm going to lay in some additional areas and I'll be back. I applied a little bit of the cadmium yellow deep to this section, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of scarlet red to add a little bit more variety. Because with the watercolor pencil, you can mix it together on your background, one on top of the other, or you can layer it up. Just have fun. See how I changed the overall feeling of this section? I'm going in with my yellow ochre because I like the color, and it's a muted yellow with kind of a warm hue or color. Sky blue. The more color you put down, meeting your cursor, the darker it would becomes. Nice. I like that combination. Sometimes you go with complementary colors, like opposite on the color wheel, or maybe analogous color, which is like real close to each other on the color wheel. Sometimes I go in and do a little pattern making. Not a lot, but some. You can use whatever patterns you like. And I love zebra stripes, so I'm going to go in here and do some. And a little bit of black to fill it in. You can go as detailed as you want. It's all up to you. Have gold paint. You can use it here. This is from a jelly roll, but if you don't have it, you can also use like a craft acrylic paint. But I like this because it has a bit more control. And you may need to go over the jelly roll a couple of times, but that's okay. I like to use gold and fluid acrylic because it's thick and you don't really need a lot of paint. And I have a 5-pack of dotting tools. So and I like to do a little bit of a dot in most of the black for highlights. And every so often clean your nib because it will gump up just a little bit. And I like silver, so this is from Signal. There we go. Uniball. And before you do this, make sure your white dots are dry. And I'll go over the lines that I'm going past the ink, but that will be later. The gold here is pretty much dry, so I'm going to go in with a fine liner again to reintroduce the lines. I'm not going over the gold, but alongside it. And occasionally wiping off my nib so it doesn't gump up. Okay, good. This is still too wet, so I'll let the silver dry a bit more. And again, going around the silver not necessarily on top of it, because you want to save your nib. And some cap that and go in with my sky blue. And use it as just a regular colored pencil. You can stop whenever you want, but I want to add a little bit more interest. So I'm going with my sky blue again. And this one, I'm going to actually wet it, so using it more or less like watercolor. Now, I normally wouldn't use a blow dryer when I have two or more colors at the same time mixing together, but since this is straight glazing, I'm going to use the blow dryer. I know I'm probably adding too much, but let's see. I like grid work. And I want to add some grid here. And let's see, go for the gold first. And going to sign it. And what do you think? remember to register to VOTE, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.